So the Packers just made their first pick of the second round. They actually traded back out of number 41 where they were originally. They traded back to number 45 with the New Orleans Saints. And in this trade, it's very important to note, the Packers got in return pick number 168 and pick number 190, which is a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. It's very similar to what happened last season when the Packers traded back from number 45 down to 50, I believe, took Jaden Reed, and then that 5th and 6th round pick they got in return last season turned into Dontavian Wicks and Carl Brooks. So Gutekunst here moves back 4 spots and gets an additional 5th and 6th round pick, which is pretty massive, and you never know what those guys turn into. And then they come in at pick number 45. They decide to take Texas A&M linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, 6'3", 230-pound linebacker from Texas A&M. The Packers this offseason lost Devondre Campbell, a key piece on this Packers defense, have been getting a little bit older, and they had a big need here at linebacker, especially moving to Jeff Hafley's new defense, going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So when the Packers aren't playing a nickel, they'll need to have 3 different linebackers out there. And there was definitely a big need of additional linebackers here for this defense. Of course, have Quay Walker, Isaiah McDuffie, Eric Wilson, a couple other guys. But linebacker was a huge need, and the Packers decided to fill it with Edgerrin Cooper, who I think is a great pick here in the top of the second round. And let me read here what PFF had to say on their NFL draft board about Cooper. They say this: Cooper brings a lot of athleticism to the linebacker position. He possesses top-tier change of direction, burst, and pursuit speed. His best work comes when he keeps things in front of him, flying in for tackles at the line of scrimmage or toward the sidelines. Cooper's issues come from reacting more than anticipating. He is manipulated off his spot too often against play action and pre-snap motion. He also tends to over-pursue tackles, though he was more consistent in 2023. He earned a high coverage grade in 2023, but that was more from defending shallow zones, running backs out of the backfield, and QB scrambles than it was from deeper zone assignments. And then the bottom line, they say Cooper has the length and the athleticism to be a starting caliber linebacker in the NFL in a downhill role. His lack of anticipation and instincts for deeper coverage work will likely keep him from being picked in the first round. So the Packers get another linebacker. If you look at PFF and some of their grading system from last year in 2023 with A&M, he had an 87.6 run grade. So he's very, very good against the run. If you're watching the ESPN broadcast, you can see those highlights. He's a tough, big, fast, physical linebacker, which is going to be fun to see. Sort of see how Jeff Hafley decides to utilize him here. He also, I think he's on TV, had said he had like 8 sacks or so last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he seems to be a pretty versatile guy. And with Jeff Hafley here in Green Bay, we all wonder, how is this Packers defense going to look, moving off of Joe Barry from last season, moving to Jeff Hafley with the 4-3 defense. And so far this offseason, the Packers decided to bring in Xavier McKinney, safety. That was probably one of my favorite moves, if not the best move of the entire offseason, to get a safety, free agent safety of his caliber. And now they continue to bolster this unit, getting another linebacker who will likely be starting here in Green Bay in 2024. Interesting thing to note before the Packers made their pick, the Eagles trade up right ahead of the Packers, take Cooper DeJean. Part of me was wondering if the Packers were thinking about taking DeJean there if the Eagles hadn't have taken him. But of course, the Eagles do take him, and he is off the board. I know many people wanted the Packers to take him last night at number 25, and so he almost lasted till the Packers draft pick at that pick at number 41 until they moved back to number 45. But that is the most recent news. I'll be out with the next pick, which will come out in the next few minutes. The Packers' second pick of the second round, unless they decide to trade it. But once again, I love the fact that Gutekunst trading back 4 spots. Not a problem for me to get 2 additional draft picks. You never know what those guys can turn into. And as I said last season, to get Wicks and Carl Brooks from trading back from 45 to 50 last year and still getting Jaden Reed, that was a pretty underrated move by Brian Gutekunst. And we'll see what these, what the 5th and 6th round pick turn into this draft. So stay tuned for more Packers content, and I'll see you guys next time.